So, Voiders, today we are finally going to Fantasy Island. And I'm kind of afraid, I gotta tell you, to be honest, because at first I was really looking forward to this because I thought the concept was pretty amazing. But now that the first reviews are in, I am just hearing about how boring this is and that it's going to be another one of those Blumhouse catastrophes. And I'm so hoping that that is not the case because my hopes were so high with this movie, but my expectations are now pretty low. But my hopes are still there. They're not dead. I'm not completely hopeless on this one yet. I'm gonna wait and watch the sun go down, and then it's off to the ArcLight to check out Fantasy Island. And later on, we're moving to a party. All right, here goes. I find it weird they call it Blumhouse's Fantasy Island. It's like it's such a brand name now. Oh my god. What wasted potential. I am so disappointed. This could have been good. This could have been good. Let's talk about it at home. So, I'd like to remind you that this movie comes from practically the exact same crew who brought us Truth or Dare back in the day. You know, a lot of people hated that movie. I kind of found it to be mildly entertaining trash. It was like kind of had so bad it's good moments that it was kind of redeemable in that fun, stupid way. But this one has all different problems altogether. Let's start with what we liked, because there wasn't really much of what I actually liked here at all. I liked the cinematography. The shots were very pretty. The island shots were nice. I also like the fact that because this movie had so many characters that they chose to go with a lot of like horror tropey cliche characters. You know, you got your athletic type of dude, you got your two bros hanging out who are like bestest of friends. You got the crazy screwed up chick hanging around. It's like you have your typical horror movie cliches. And if used correctly, I kind of enjoy that trope. Let me think. Was there anything else I liked about this? Yeah, Lucy Hale. I like Lucy Hale. Like, I really find that new Riverdale spin-off, Katie Keene, to be very charming. She carries that very well, and I know Lucy Hale tried to work with this. I don't think she was just given enough stuff, so I think I'm already out of things I liked about this movie. Oh yeah, and before I forget to mention, I really like the premise of this. This is a beautiful idea. How could you fuck it up like that? I am not familiar with the source material. I know that it exists. I know that there was that 70s version of the show. I think it was 70s. And that they made a reboot that lasted like a season or two in the late 90s. That's all I know. And something about a plane. What the fuck of a script was that? It's been a really, really, really long time since I saw a plot twist that was so contrived and pulled out of their ass. Generally, like, the whole entire third act of this movie is a contrived mess that, like, really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The plot holes in this movie are just unbearable. Like, it kind of feels like 9-year-olds wrote this and tried to make sense of it in this like crazy way. This movie just kept on making up its own rules as it went along. Um, the acting was kind of abysmal, to say the least. I didn't buy Michael Pena playing this ever so powerful Mr. Rourke that has control of this badass fantasy island. I didn't. He seemed more like that dog whisperer dude, actually.
So you see, just a relaxation is an understand.
Wait, no, no, no. And to be more precise, the South Park version of the dog whisperer.
See, I'm not looking at the child, I'm not acknowledging the child, I'm just letting the child know I'm not interested in him.
That's what he seemed like.
I think especially with like YouTube and reality shows and stuff like that, like more like real kind of acting is out there right now.
Did you know that real kind of acting is out there right now? And see, like I said before, the premise of this movie is like, does a great job. It's kind of like, you really have to be an artist in fucking this up. Because like, all these people arrive at this island to have like their biggest fantasies come true. And what this movie is trying to show you is that even your best fantasies might not be what you actually want to happen. And the idea is good. I like that idea. But when you are putting your message on your audience's nose like that, constantly, and getting so corny and cheesy with the dialogue, it gets really, really, really fucking exhausting. There's like these two mainly bros. One's gay and one's straight, which I found cool. That was like making mainly bros where one of them is gay. Good job. But their dialogue was painful. Their dialogue was just simply so painful. And I am a fan of stupid pop culture references. I thought that worked very well in Countdown. But this... Then there's all of a sudden these mask-wearing, gunfighting people whose motives somehow seem to change constantly every 5 minutes of the film. Oh. There was this character in this movie who wished so badly to have a family. And she was so terribly annoying. So terribly annoying. One of our other characters, and I won't get too much into specifics. Yes, my Christmas tree is still up there. I always take it down at the end of February, but who gives a shit? There was this other character who met his father who had passed away. And the conversations these guys were having were so abysmally cheesy that I wanted to puke several times how bad it was. Like the dialogue here. I have no words. I really have no words. Like, and with this movie trying to constantly be so meaningful and constantly showing you this flag in your face saying, be meaningful, care about the message we are trying to tell you. It just made me so angry. It just annoyed me. I was so exhausted. I know this movie isn't that long. It's like 1 hour and 45 minutes long, but I felt like it went for at least 3 hours. At the end, one of the characters says, Fantasy fucking Island. Yeah. By the time he says that, you really feel like, Fantasy fucking Island. They could have at least made this be somewhat like fun, you know? Going that silly, trashy, truth or dare like approach. That would have maybe even like made it to a 5 out of 10 if they took it like that. But no, they really, really, really wanted it to be meaningful with these absolutely cliche generic characters. Generic characters work if you're going to be creative with something else. Like with your plot maybe, or with your... or with your kills. There was not any gore in this movie at all, and it would have really improved it a little bit. But that's what you get from making PG-13 horror, Blumhouse. And it was like trying to give the most generic characters that you have. And like I said before, I don't mind generic characters. If you have too many characters in your horror film, that's a good way to go. But you're trying to make these generic characters have like the serious character arc, and it is just stupid. Like if they would have just made it a little bit more silly, at least try to make it a little bit more silly as opposed to being so. I'm forcing my meaningfulness down your throat. Then this might have actually been something. I'm gonna give Fantasy Island a 3 out of 10.
I'm your friend. I've always wanted to hear you say that.